Hi everyone, how are you guys doing today? All right. Are you guys excited for a read?
Yes.
I've got a lovely story today called Boogie Bear. And this story, yeah, well that is the Boogie Bear, and we're gonna learn today in today's book about what it means to be different and how to love and respect people and things that are different. He is a bear.
He's big like Oogie Woogie.
Like Oogie Woogie. And let's read the book and find out what happens to Boogie Bear. Are you guys ready to get started? Yeah, well, let's read and get started and see what happens. All right, so up at the North Pole, polar bears were swimming, fishing, and growling. The biggest, furriest one of them all was sunning herself right there.
It's eating fish.
That's right, and she was sitting on top of the iceberg as usual. Lying there without a care in the world, she scooped up fish right from the sea with her paw, and she dropped it right into her mouth. Ah, this is the life, she sighed as she drifted to sleep. Guess what happens? Who knows how to snore? I need you guys to snore with me. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Keep snoring, keep snoring. Keep on, keep on, keep on. And when the polar bear finally woke up, what happened? The most awful thing happened to this polar bear.
They're all sleeping.
The animal must have eaten too much for lunch because part of the iceberg was that she was lying on snapped and it drifted and floated away. I wonder where it went. The polar bear was now miles from home and being hurled around by the angry sea. Oh dear, she said as she wobbled, surfing on a humongous wave. Look at that. Surely, things couldn't get any worse, she said. Oh, but they could. They could get a lot worse. As the polar bear swept south, the sea became warmer and warmer, melting the iceberg, which became smaller and smaller. Look at that. Soon it was no bigger than an ice cube. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
There's no biggest one.
Yeah, she's on the tiniest one now. And she toppled into the sea.
There's no way. It's like a mouse.
You're right. But watch what happens next. Bobbling her head up out of the water, the polar bear spied the nearest land was miles away. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear. She did her best bear paddle towards the collapse before collapsing on the rocks, and the waves were just crashing against her. It starts to get a little scary here. Behind her, she heard a rustling noise into the forest.
He's scared because there's a monster in the noise.
Look what happens. Looking up, the polar bear saw hundreds and hundreds of eyes staring back.
Big.
Yep. And you know what she said?
They're all the boogie bears.
She said, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
The boogie bears are in the leaves.
You're right.
But it's so,
Shirley.
he's so big like Oogie Woogie.
Yeah, and Shirley, she thought to herself, things couldn't get worse.
We found him.
Ooh, they're gonna get a lot worse. Charge! Came a voice. And before the polar bear knew it, there were 100 of brown furry creatures stampeding towards her. Yeah, you think those are the boogie bears? Well, listen to this. One of the bears said, "Get the boogie monster!" That tiny little bear said that. He thought that the polar bear was the boogie monster.
Yes, we found him.
What's a boogie monster?
But where is it?
Well, that's what we're going to find out. So what's a boogie monster, said one of the bears. That is a boogie monster, shouted the bear, the one with the big floppy ears. It's not you? Okay, it might have been one of the other bears then.
Boogie bear now?
You're not a boogie bear?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm still big. I'm not a boogie bear.
Okay, it's definitely not you. It might have been another bear. So one of the bears said, "Ooh, I'm scared."
That's the polar bear.
The brown bears had never seen a white bear before.
But it's gone.
Oh dear. Yep, let's listen and see what happens. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh dear, said the polar bear. And she ran into the forest.
When you run, there's him will catch him.
Yeah, she ran into the forest as fast as she could.
Because he scared him a little bit.
She was scared. Brown bears came from all sides, and soon the white bear had nowhere else to run. Ahead of her was the tallest tree in the forest, so she clambered all the way up to the top. The tree swayed, because the bear was kind of heavy, so it swayed back and forth under her weight, and the white bear clung on desperately as the brown bears circled beneath. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh very extremely dear, she said to herself. And the little bear said, "Get the boogie monster!" They still think this polar bear is a boogie monster.
He's not here. I think he's gone.
You're right. That's the one with that's the small bear that said that with his sharp teeth.
I think he was running in the trees.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Can someone else do it? So they're trying to attack this bear. Yep. Right there.
Found him.
Yep. So can someone else do it? I'm not scary, shouted the polar bear. Yes, you are, said the little one. Your fur is a funny color. Well, I think your fur is a funny color too. That enraged him. Get up there, he ordered. I'm scared of heights, replied the one with the biggest, wettest nose. And the bear fell down. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, she murmured to herself as her big furry bottom hit each branch on the way down until she hit a big bendy branch which bounced right back all the way up to the top. Surely things couldn't get any worse. Oh, but they could. They could get a lot worse. As the polar bear was so heavy, the tree buckled to one side. The pack of brown bears reached up with their paws and tried to grab the trunk.
Look, I think they're falling.
Get the boogie bear, he said. The brown bears lost their grip on the trunk and the tree twanged right back up. Oh dear, said the polar bear as she soared through the air. Ah, it's a flying boogie monster, remarked the one with the biggest, wettest nose. In no time, the poor animal had crash-landed head first into a huge muddy puddle. Fell right down in the dirt. Let's get the boogie monster, shouted the littlest one.
Mommy, this is
That is.
Boogie monster.
Oh dear, said the polar bear as she stood up. Caked in mud, the polar bear wasn't white anymore. Stop! It's not a boogie bear. It's a regular bear, he said, exclaimed the one with the biggest, wettest nose right over there.
It's like
A boogie bear, shouted the little one again.
No, it was the polar bear.
It was. So a huge smile spread across the face with the bear with the floppy ears. She's not a boogie anything. She's gorgeous.
The boogie bear is like a hoogie woogie.
Yeah. Ah, boring, said the tiny little bear. Miss, we are so sorry for frightening you, said the one with the floppy ears, stepping forward.
It was very scary.
It was, but listen to what she said.
You cannot touch it. It's warm.
Yeah, but in truth, all the bears were frightened. They were scared. Here, you see, all of us bears are brown. There, all us bears are white, she said, pointing to the north. Well, I love your white fur, said the brown bear, checking out the white bear's furry little bottom. And guess what? I love your brown fur, said the white bear, checking out the brown bear's little furry bottom. Yuckity, yuck, 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 said the small little bear. The pair rubbed noses in a show of love. The birds in the trees tweeted sweet music, and the butterflies swooped and twirled as if there was nothing enough. A rainbow appeared in the sky. And from that day on, the two love-struck bears spent all their days and nights together. The white bear had never eaten honey before, which she loved, and the brown bear had never eaten a walrus before, which kind of pretended to love. The pair hibernated for the winter, cuddled up together in a hollowed out tree. Things couldn't get any better, they thought. Oh, but they can get a lot better. That spring, the polar bear had a litter of beautiful bear cubs. Their fur came in all different shapes.
The white polar bear and
Yep.
the big white polar bear. is
And
tiny.
look, now they've got baby cubs, and they came in all shades of white and brown.
Baby polar bear.
No matter, their mommy and daddy loved them all the same. "Ha, this really is the life," sighed the white bear. "And certainly is, my love," replied the brown bear. The end. Did you guys like that story?
Yes.
So this teaches us...
Can we watch this one?
Yeah, we can do that next time. But this story today teaches us it doesn't matter where you're from or what you look like. We're all the same, and we should all love and respect everyone, whether they're the same or different. Thank you guys for listening.